true, true.
True.
Yeah. Let's go.
True.
Yerp. What's good? How are y'all feeling? Shout out to Ronnie in the building. Man, Ronnie, he redeemed that first real quick, chat. I don't know what's happening. Michael in the building. What is up? How are you doing? Let's give him that sound. What's up? What's up? What's up? How are you guys doing today? Hope everybody's doing well. Snowed in? Oh, likewise. That snow fucking came out of nowhere. It was like raining all day yesterday. And then we looked outside and it's like, wait, it's snowing hard as shit. It's a little coffee. Chat, I'm not gonna lie to you. Today, my coffee is nasty. I don't know what it is. Like it's fresh brewed coffee, but it's disgusting. Shout out to everybody snowed in. Like the snow at this point is getting ridiculous. And look, I'm gonna just be real, with y'all. I am not a conspiracy theorist, but I do every now and again come across and watch some conspiracy theories on like Instagram and stuff like that. And let me tell you, shout out to PR in the building. Let me tell you, chat, some of those conspiracy theories, some of those, we've decoded what was in the Epstein files. Come on, I can't be the only one that has been, it's been shoved in my face, right? Like, I can't be the only one. I saw for, I don't know, and that stuff will catch you. It will catch you if you're not like, if you're just there doom scrolling, that stuff will catch you. I mean, anything will catch you, right? Especially on social media. And it will just consume you. And they'll just be like, hey, let me show you some other stuff that's kind of along the lines of this same topic. And let me just drive you crazy really quick, right? I saw one, particularly about snow, and it was talking about how Bill Gates, and I still haven't fixed my mic situation yet, chat, so don't worry about it. How Bill Gates is like, he has this plan about snow, and he wants to, like, I seen some where it makes him look evil, and then I see some that make him look good. Because it's like, well, Bill Gates is controlling the snow, and he has this plan where they put down this snow, this like artificial snow, and it's meant to cool the earth. So it's supposed to reduce the effects of global warming, right? So that's one, I guess, theory, right? And then you have one that's like Bill Gates is controlling the snow and it's for population control and he's trying to make everyone infertile so you can't have babies. So in a generation, it's like a fourth of the amount of like deliveries or births. It's like, bro. Like I said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist for the most part. But some of that stuff is like, I'm not gonna lie, some of it's just entertaining. But it will drag you down a rabbit hole. What's good? How are y'all feeling? What's good, PR? How's y'all weekend been? Again, we are quote unquote snowed in. I will say the difference this time around because apparently it's supposed to snow again on Wednesday. And that is going to be, if it snows again, come on. Not having any kids, so can you keep the snow from over here? Right, keep the snow, man. Listen, at least I will say they have already plowed my neighborhood. That was shocking. I'm like, they've already plowed. They're not playing around this time. Because I mean, the snow from last time just melted. And that's why conspiracy theories will mess with you sometimes because it's like if you for a second think about it in the midst of everything's going on, it'll have you tripping because it'll be like, oh man, what if they really are putting out snow for either good things or bad things, right? Because like we had snow and the last snow wasn't even 100% melted. It's been out there for over a month. You know what I'm saying? And it's been raining like nonstop almost for the last week. That's how a lot of the snow, I guess, was, we got rid of it. But then in the midst of the rain yesterday, it just started snowing. So what the hell? But I'm not here to talk about conspiracy theories. But, some of them, I don't know. Some of them, chat, you got to watch it. I did see, however, I saw a video that says, listen, I don't think anybody's truly prepared for the true depths of AI. And I don't think I am, honestly. Like, I don't mind AI, and I don't mind, obviously, what it will assist the world in some of the advances that will come from it. But I'm going to be real. Like, I'm a doom scroller, chat. Like, I can't be the only one that's a doom scroller. I can't be. And the thing about that is like, can you imagine if you spent, I don't know, let's be modest. Let's say you spent an hour on social media, whether that was Instagram or TikTok or Threads or whatever it is, and you're on there and you're watching videos and didn't realize that every video you watched in the last hour was AI. Like the people, the content, everything was AI. That's I watched a video and this lady was like, I don't think people really prepare for it. She's like, watch this. It was some lady selling like wallets or something like that. And she's like, please check out my wallets because of something. And she's like, yeah, this lady's AI. And if you go to the website, it's a real website. And basically they do drop shipping, but it makes it seem like she's like hand making the stuff. I said, man, I don't know if I'm ready. I truly just don't know if I'm prepared for that. But nonetheless, it is here. And if we become those people, or if I'm just one of those people that's just scrolling, and I've been watching AI videos for the last hour and don't know,
you're cooked, brother.
I'm definitely cooked. Definitely cooked. Anyway. So, yeah, what did I want to talk about a little bit? Unplugging. Right? So, I think I am pretty good when it comes to just exercising free will sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes, right? Like, there are two things that I'm really trying to be intentional with. The first being with my free will. What I mean by that, right? obviously you don't want to go out and you don't want to do no crazy shit. If you do, that's on you. But like regular people, like we got lives to live. We got people to take care of. We got just, you got life. So we're not about to just do some crazy shit, even though we have free will, right? But to a certain extent, you got to just be able to just do whatever the hell you want to do, right? And the power of like social media and streaming and otherwise will have you feeling bad about stuff, man. And I feel like I talked partly about this before, and I've definitely heard other people talk about this as well. Like when it comes to like who you watch, again, whether that's a live streamer or whether that's like curated content on, I just use Instagram because I like Instagram, right? Or if it comes to you as the content creator, there's like, now understandably, if this is how you make your money, I absolutely get it. You got to be locked in. You got to be all these things. But if it's not, you shouldn't beat yourself up if it's like, oh man, I was supposed to stream yesterday, or I was supposed to post 5 TikToks yesterday and I didn't do it. Like, I always tell myself, yeah, I'm going to post at least 1 TikTok a week based off of like a clip or something. And I say I failed at that 50% of the time. But I don't care. Because again, the free will, right? It's like, well, if I don't do it, I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm not going to feel like, for example, I'll just use Michael as an example because he's in the chat. I'm not going to feel like Michael's on the other side of his screen cursing me out saying, listen, True's an asshole. Where is he? He's supposed to post a video today. He didn't do it. Like, if you are, then, hey, man, that's cool too. But I think most people have to really understand that that's not happening. Like, people don't care that much. And like, if you take a day off, you take a week off, right? If you take a month off, like, yes, people may care about you. People may love your content, but they're not going to care to the extent where it's like, they abandoned us. And if they do, then that's their problem. That's their problem, chat. You got to live your life. So last time I was on here, I was talking, hey, I was training. I was locked in because I had a tournament, right? So some of you know, but some of you in the chat may not be aware, but, keep this a secret. Shh. I be doing tournaments. I be doing full-blown martial arts tournaments in my free time. And I love it. It keeps me healthy. It keeps me as a person who can actually jump off the ground and run and stuff like that. So I did a tournament last Friday. And up until that tournament, or let's just say last weekend, the tournament was last weekend, I was training up until that point, getting my mind right, all these things. The result of the tournament, chat, I came in first place. I came in first place in forms. I came in first place in sparring. But it's not to brag. After that, right? Because my son also competed in the tournament, right? There's different divisions. If anyone's wondering, like, just in case anyone's confused, like, how can a kid and also an adult compete in the same tournament? There are divisions. There are all types of divisions based on your skill level, based on your age, based on your gender. There's all different types of divisions, right? So, yes, anyone can compete. Shout out to Besco in the building. Right? So, we both competed. And he competed in 3 events. His other event besides sparring and forms was weapons. And he did an amazing job. So, afterwards, I said, man, we've been working really hard. Like, working out, staying focused, meditating, everything, right? And that's not easy for even a kid to do. My son's 8. But for me, afterwards, I said, man, I was locked in and I put all my energy into it. And when I came back, it was just life. So I have this thing for work, chat, where I have to travel every now and again. You guys seen me travel before, and another trip is coming up very, very soon. So I have to get prepared for that. So in the midst of all the preparations that takes for me to travel, sometimes I work a lot of hours, and I'm just like, all right, I want to stream, but instead I'm gonna take a nap, and I do that. And people should do that. Not saying you should just stop what you love to do or whatever the case is, but like you got to work on your mental health. We've said this before. We've talked about this before, Chad. I'm not, you know, if I could help it, I'm not gonna be one. I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna be crippled. I'm not gonna be like mentally crippled, and I'm not gonna be physically crippled if I can help it. Right. Obviously, the unknown exists, but I just gotta. I try to recognize those things where it's like, all right, this is starting to stress me out, so I got to do something about it. And eventually, that will happen with these Hot Wheels. But as chaotic as all these Hot Wheels seem, and you guys see them sitting here basically every time I stream, right? This is not actually chaotic to me. One, because it's really just Hot Wheels now compared to chat. Compared to what this room used to look like before I started streaming, just having Hot Wheels all over the place is not a big deal. But I've really locked in on like eliminating clothes, eliminating things that we have in our storage room. Like I don't have a separate storage, so like whatever's just in my house. I've been trying to eliminate a lot of stuff. I just realized I didn't take that reef down. I need to take that reef down for sure. Yeah. So clearing stuff out. And so, first of all, Gong Si Fa Sai, right? For anyone who celebrates the Chinese New Year, the Chinese New Year was on February 17th. Chinese New Year, you know, I love Chinese culture. I did 370 days of Mandarin and Chinese on Duolingo. And I partially can speak Chinese and like 80% cannot. But I will say I've had, and I think I said this before, but I've had a Chinese dream before. And when I say a Chinese dream, meaning I was so deep into Duolingo that when I fell asleep and I had a dream, the entire dream was in that language I was learning. It was freaky, but it showed me that I was starting to understand. I will get back to it, but again, I had free will, and Duo was fucking tripping. It was every day. It's you're gonna come back. Hey, Duo was literally threatening me. Like, if you don't come back, I'm gonna end your streak, and you're gonna be sad about it. Like the way they set algorithms for like everything is bananas, Chad. Straight up Bananas, Chad. Like, it's no joke. So, yeah. Mm-mm. Again, exercising that free will to be like, you know what? I know I've been on Duolingo for 370 days, but today I'm just not going to log in anymore. And I'm not going to log in for months. And it's been months. And I may log back in, but I had to because once I start feeling like my life is being controlled and it's not by me, losing that free will. And I got to say, you know what? Screw this. I'm not doing it. So, yeah. But anyway, today is Monday. And even though half of us are snowed in, let's still get into some financial entertainment. And after the financial entertainment, because I just want to see, even myself, I haven't tapped in like a couple weeks on what's been going on. So I just want to kind of see. I want to kind of see what they're talking about. I want to show you guys what they're talking about. You know the fact, we'll make some assumptions. But let's slowly make a conscious effort to get our lives in order, whether that be financially, whether that be mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, whatever your thing is or that you need to work on. Let's go ahead and try to work on that, right? So after this, I do want to show you guys something that has been absolutely like keeping me in a mental chokehold, right? And I'll preface it to say vocal stems. Vocal stems have been keeping me in a straight up chokehold. And I don't know what it is about vocal stems, but there's a particular page on Instagram that I'll go to, and I wanted to mention it versus holding it to the end just in case I forget. Like, if you're listening, just know that hey, vocal stems is what I want to show you guys. So, with that being said, I will begin my transition into my other screen. And while I am doing so, let me, first of all, I'm trying to figure out if I like my camera here or here. I think I got used to my camera being right here and now it's here. So it's like, if I'm not looking at the screen, I have to watch this back later. Anyway, so yes, while I'm preparing, let's give you a disclaimer. Again, you get the same disclaimer, which is true don't know shit. So if you're a financial advisor, if you are a financial planner, if you're a certified expert, if you are Aristotle or Ross Mack or the stock guy or anyone, and you happen to come across this page, listen. What I am saying is for entertainment purposes. If you learn something, great. If you do not, okay. It's for entertainment. But do not take what I say as financial advice. Please do your own due diligence, do your own research. I am not an advisor, not a tax advisor. I'm not a CFP, certified financial planner. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm none of those things. I'm not licensed, Chad. I've never taken the series. The credentials that I do have is I went to school for finance. So I do have a degree in finance, which I guess in some areas gives you the permission to talk about this type of stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's get it. So chat. Let's see what their breaking news is. Eli Lilly launches new form of obesity drug, Zepbound, with a month's worth of doses in one pen. Excuse me? Again, what we're doing, chat, and for those of you who may be new to the chat, sometimes on mornings we decide to do financial entertainment, which is let's see what the week has planned for us. Let's see if they mention anything about the previous weeks. Let's just see what's going on. We keep our ear to the earth here. But they're talking about Zepbound with a month's worth of doses in one pen. Chat, I am personally not obese. I am not sure if any of you out there are obese or if anyone is aware of someone who is obese and taking an obesity drug. But the way that I interpret this, which is months worth of doses in one pen, what's the pen? Like, here's my assumption when I see the word pen when it comes to medications, right? So my son has an EpiPen, right? He is allergic to something that can cause anaphylactic shock, right? So the pen is if he comes in contact with that substance, he or I or we can inject him in the thigh and provide him with a dose of medication. If you're telling me there's a month's worth of doses in one pen, are they talking about reusing a needle, chat? Are they talking about reusing a needle?
You're cooked, brother.
Because if they're talking about reusing a needle, chat, that just doesn't seem sanitary, right? This is a pharmaceutical company, right? Eli Lilly, one of the largest pharmaceutical companies. I mean, I assume they've thought of that, right? It's not just some dude behind his computer screen that read one headline and is like, are they tripping? And maybe they are tripping, but that's what I think of, and that's what I assume when I see a month worth of doses in one pen. Like, do you change out the needles or something? Like, they're gonna have to explain this to me. But y'all know what we do here. We don't click on the articles. If you want to know more about the article, go click it yourself. We're on CNBC. Why are we here? We just like the interface. There's plenty of places you could go to get this similar information, right? So that's the breaking news. So this is our Christmas bar. Why do we call it our Christmas bar? Because it's red and green, chat. If it's gray, that means unch, means something is unchanged with the information. This is the futures. The stock market is not open at the moment, but you see down, down, down. Oil's up, and the 10-year treasury is down. So everything's down except oil. Dow futures dropped 200 points as Trump raises tariffs again, sowing confusion. Yeah, I'm confused too. Like, wasn't your strategy to lower tariffs so you can have these partnerships with folks, but now you're saying, all right, let's raise them again? I am confusion. I am confusion, chat. And oil is up. Like, I watched the video, and the video could be fake. The video could be 100% accurate. I'm just going to take it as accurate. So I saw in the video, chat, and they said, if you don't understand how crude oil works, let me explain it to you. So they go, here's crude oil. And they have this crude oil. And they go, it goes through all these different filtration processes. And I'm locked in because this is how I learn whether or not, let's see. Smart detection. Deny. Good job, Autobot. So, so it goes, here's crude oil. This is all the things crude oil is used for. And then they show this filtering process. I think that video was probably AI generated, but I believe it, right? So it goes, it breaks down, and the initial phase, gives you, for example, like gasoline, right? And then another phase gives you like the stuff they use to make plastic. And then another phase would give you, for example, tar, which they use, to make, pavement. And then another layer would give you like diesel fuel. And then it kept breaking it down. So to me, because that was the first time I ever saw it, I said, hey, listen, this video may not be 100% accurate, but it's at least, it got to be partially accurate. It got to be. So it's up. I said all that to say oil's up. But with oil being up, right, there's plenty of things they use oil for. So again, yeah, do your own research. Let's see what CNBC got for us, chat. Again, Dow futures drop based on raised tariffs. Bitcoin falls as much as 5% as Trump tariff moves. Raise uncertainty. 5 key takeaways from Supreme Court's landmark decision against Trump tariffs. Like, obviously tariffs are a thing. And obviously tariffs have been a huge talk. But how do we get back to tariffs being a headline, chat?
What the hell is even that?
Europe hits back at pure tariff chaos from U.S. warning trade deals are at risk. Yo. Trump, I don't care what anyone says about Trump, right? It's not my business, but Trump is a straight up savage. And if people keep thinking that this dude is not intelligent, you're wrong. Whether you believe in his political views or not, the dude is very intelligent. Whether his motives align with yours is a different story. But the way he moves and the way he commands stuff is very intelligent. You have to give him that, chat. You have to give him that. And side note, the government is partially shut down. Let's check really quick. How long has the government been shut down? Let's see what they come up with. As of February 23rd, a partial government shutdown is underway. Has begun. Funding expired January 30th. For several major, so this followed a record 43. Yeah, so yeah, I know we just came out of the 43-day full government shutdown. Now we're in a partial shutdown. So I saw something that was talking about airlines and how TSA pre-check and global entry is going to be affected, and a lot of airports you're not going to see those services open. So just be mindful of that if you're traveling and you use global entry or TSA pre-check. For the record, for those of you who are unaware, again, fact check everything I mentioned here. But if you're going to choose between the two, you need to get global entry. Trust me. Because global entry, and this is what they didn't tell me, my first time getting TSA pre-check, I asked the lady, oh, what's global entry? I see, what's, pre-check, asking the questions. And she never explained to me the most important thing, which is global entry includes pre-check, except for it also is pre-check for when you fly international. So here I am, chat, in pre-check when I'm leaving the country, and when I'm coming back, I got to stand in a regular line because, oh, I'm sorry, sir, that's just TSA pre-check. You don't have global entry. TSA pre-check is domestic. So yeah. And at the time, I'm pretty sure they were like the same price or like a $5 difference. I'm like, that sucks. But nowadays, Clear is even faster than pre-check. But just like TSA pre-check, right? You go from the standard crowd, Gen Pop, right, to TSA pre-check, and then that is the new hotness. Then everybody adopts TSA pre-check. So now TSA pre-check is the now the new Gen Pop, and then you go to Clear, and then Clear is, I guess at the moment, is the new hotness, right? But then eventually Clear is probably going to be Gen Pop, and then something else is going to be after that, which is probably going to be, I don't know, biometrics, because Clear is already face scan and damn near retina. So yeah, anyway, if you're flying, yeah, that. Airlines halt Puerto Vallarta flights after violence following Mexican cartel leaders killing. So if you're, for some reason, in Mexico, on vacation, in an area that is being affected by Mexican cartel, and you are, again, American, and you're for some reason watching True Stream about financial entertainment, there is a stay in shelter or stay in place, whatever they call it, shelter in place for all Americans. Like, stay where you are, right? If you're on a resort, stay in your resort. If you're not, stay where you're at, because it's not a good time to be out on the street looking for a drink while they're doing whatever they're doing down there. I don't know if the video was accurate or not, but I saw something where folks pulled up and they just grabbed the gas pumps and they just started spraying gas everywhere, and they set the whole like place on fire. And it looked like it was a Costco. I don't know. I'm just looking like, bro, what? Let's move on. Eli Lilly launches new form of obesity drug. We just read that. A month's worth in one pen? Come on, man.
What the hell is even that?
OpenAI lands multi-year deals with consulting giants in enterprise push. Listen, how many times are we going to see this dude's face? OpenAI is integrated into everything at this point. Like, I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something, and I don't think we're gonna stop them. Like, I don't know. I don't think they've been reporting profit. They may have had one profitable quarter or something like that. Again, fact check me. But listen, they're gonna keep partnering with everyone. Here are Monday's biggest analyst calls: NVIDIA, Apple, CoreWeave, Disney, Alphabet, Texas Instruments. I keep telling you guys, you're going to see the same names here. Don't worry about it. This is it. Don't worry about that either. Google spin out. How do you say this? Illyria? Illyria, valued at $1.3 billion as investors pour into space-based communications. What do you mean by that? What do they mean by that, chat? I need that sound. I need that sound. Let's write that down. That's also a part of what was triggering the nonstop scrolling on the vocal stems chat, because it's like they have some sounds on there that I'm like, all right, I could use this for this. I could use this for that. Like, let me add some more entertainment via sounds to my chat, because right now,
I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
I'm getting cooked. Especially when I go to some people's chats, and some of the sounds they have, it's like, you know how you could go to somebody's like chat and you just know the type of sounds that you'll hear. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain things that it's just a positive vibe and a positive trigger. Like, first of all, shout out to Also, right? Also Pure, 1998. Whoa. 1988, 1998. Right? Shout out to Also. When I go to Also's chat, right, it's like he has certain sounds that when you go there frequently, you become familiar with the sounds. And you also become familiar with, like, when you're talking in the chat, how he like greets people. That's a familiar sound, right? So some of you who come here may be familiar with this sound with me, right? My evil laugh, right? And when I go to other people's sounds, you know, shout out to Peachiani, who's been streaming nonstop for the month. Shout out to her. Shout out to other folks like, Leilani Orange, who I love her sounds. I love her stream, but her sounds are so fire. And every time I go there, I'm gonna probably play the same sound, and it's just so, it's a feel good type of thing. So I've heard some of those vocal stems, and I'm like, I could use these sounds, because if somebody follows me, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you check out like a Mega McQueen, right, and he gets a follow, and it's like, the pasties are watching, right? Or, like I mentioned, Leilani Orange is like, she doesn't even go here, right? From Mean Girls. Listen, some of those sounds are just, the more you go, the more you listen, it's like it gets stuck with you. Anyway, I need that sound. I'm going to start writing stuff down so I can remember. So, Drewski, right? That's Drewski. What do you mean by that? And I need to get some emotes too, Chad. Anyway, let's keep moving. Mexico fears more violence after army kills leader of powerful Jalisco cartel. Is that what's happening? See, this is why you read. This is why you read. Because I had no idea, like, why the hell Mexico's all of a sudden all turned up and people burning stuff. The army apparently killed the leader of a powerful Jalisco cartel. Listen, I'm not in no cartel or nothing like that. You know, I'm not involved in anything shady, I believe, right? So I can imagine that if you coming in and you turning up on my mans, oh, we turning up on everybody. Nah. Okay, so that's the deal. So now we know, chat. Stay out of the streets. Stay out of the streets, chat. Stay out of the streets.
God damn!
Novo Nordisk sinks 15% after weight loss drug fails to match Eli Lilly's in trial. There's so many weight loss drugs. Like, who's responsible for what's the weight loss drug, chat? What's the major weight loss drug? Ozempic, right? Who manufactures Ozempic? Look, the hell? Why is it already up there? Why? Novo Nordisk. So that obesity drug then, chat, that they were talking about here. Ooh. So Zepbound. So are you telling me Zepbound is better than Ozempic? Is that what they're telling us? Because this is they basically sunk 15% after weight loss drug fails to match Eli Lilly's in trial, or is this some new shit they coming up with? Because I'm telling you, Ozempic. Listen, Ozempic is doing wonders for people. It's doing wonders for people. So I don't know if they have something new that they're trying to compete with Zepbound. And this is for obesity. How much weight is this making people lose? Y'all gotta do your own research on that. But listen, be careful with all these needles. Some people, I mean, they need it, but like, yes, they compete in chat. Like, do you want to be involved in something where people are literally competing? I guess that makes a better product, right? I guess, right? If you think about cartels, right? Since, they mentioned cartels. If you think about cartels, what makes a cartel powerful or more powerful than another one, right? I'm assuming it has to be like the drugs, right? That's like the main thing to a cartel is the fact that they're distributing drugs. So I would assume they need to have better drugs than another cartel, I guess. So listen, chat. Listen for a second. I'm not calling or referring to Novo Nordisk or Eli Lilly as cartels. All I'm saying is one drug is trying to be better than the other. And they need to do that because if not, then their share of the market is going to decline. The similarities are there, okay? I am just saying, right? I'm just pointing out and making a comparison because here's a cartel article right above a drug article. I mean, the entertainment writes itself.
God damn!
Anyway, activist Saba Capital swoops on Blue Owl amid growing private credit software fears. You couldn't have been more vague. Snowfall intensifies in Northeast with many stuck at home under blizzard warnings and travel bans. Listen, I'm going to blame Puxatawny Phil. You know what I'm saying? He said, listen, it's 6 more weeks of winter. That was obvious. I did the math for you guys. I told you, yes, there are clearly 6 more weeks of winter. This man did not tell us that in that 6 weeks, we're going to get a blizzard. Like, come on, Puxatawny Phil. What is you doing? What the Trump administration's Harvard lawsuit could mean for future applicants. Listen, if you like conspiracy theories or anything surrounding like schools and stuff, I haven't really dug into the Harvard stuff. I've seen a little bit about it, but dig into it. Do your own research. Because I mean, people like, are we still gonna act like these institutions, these elitist institutions, are not like, what's the word I'm looking for?
You're cooked, brother.
Cooked, I guess. Like, I don't know, but you know what I'm saying? Like, what's that lawsuit about? Right? Chat, here is an actual, listen, hold up. This is an actual fact, chat. This is an actual fact. And it's going to have no further details surrounding it, but this is an actual fact. Are you ready? Okay. True did go to Harvard. Yes, I did go to Harvard. And I did drop out of Harvard. I will provide 0 extra details on that, but it's true. It is true. All right. Stocks making the biggest moves pre-market. Arc'teryx, Novo Nordisk, Domino's Pizza, and more. So this has nothing to do with probably what's in this article, but the fact that Domino's Pizza is mentioned, I didn't know there was a full community of people who like eat Domino's Pizza not for the pizza, but because of the distinct taste. And they're like, I don't want the pizza because it's not really pizza, but it is pizza, but it's like I'm going after that specific taste. But the thing that made it crazy, chat, is I knew what they were talking about. Like, I don't eat Domino's pizza often. And when I say not often, it's probably, here's a comparison. When I was in college, I used to eat Domino's pizza more frequently. Why? Because you can get 3 large pizzas for $15, right? So if you can gather up 8 friends and you can all put in $2, right? You guys all had pizza, right? Or if you gathered 3 friends and you all put in $5, you all had pizza. Don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. 3 large pizzas for $5. I know some of you are like, no, but it's like $7 for 3 medium pizzas. Yeah, but before, it used to be 3 large pizzas for $5. Then it was 3 large pizzas for $7 and 3 medium pizzas for $5. They're scamming. Anyway, whenever I go to Domino's, which is now once a year compared to how often I used to go when I had money, it's like once a year, chat. It's once a year. Just because every now and again, you just want that Domino's taste, right? So that like thin crust. Our pizza tastes like cardboard and ketchup. That taste that, you know, is kind of in that thin crust pizza, every now and again, it hits so hard, bro. It hits so hard, right? And when you get that pizza and you look at it because the box is thicker than the pizza, and you like, I know I'm about to crush this pizza. Only thought you can have is
a big eater
type shit. You feel me? Here's another fact, chat. My son he despises Domino's. If I wouldn't even try to trick him and be like, yeah, you want some of this pizza? No. If he sees a Domino's box, he's just like, I ain't eating that shit. He's Domino's is his nemesis, chat. A kid with a pizza place, that's his nemesis. Why? Because when he was younger, and I say younger even though he's only 8 years old, they had a school-wide pizza party. This is a true story. And they supplied Domino's pizza to the entire school. And that was the only thing that the school kids ate that day, was the Domino's pizza. And 95% of the kids got crippling food poisoning, chat. Crippling food poisoning. So the look in my son's eyes as he basically was vomiting all night, and we had to basically like, it was like urgent care type of stuff, and we had to like make sure we pump him full of fluids and all this other stuff, you know, and he was taking it like a soldier. But the look on his face as his young little 5-year-old self looked me in the eyes as I basically let him watch what were we watching at like 3:00 in the morning? It might have been Zootopia or something. But he's just like,
I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
and I'm looking at him back and I'm like, I'm not gonna lie either. I'm not gonna lie either, brother.
You're cooked, brother.
So I felt bad for him, but that's why he hates Domino's. Anyway, Trump accounts have more unanswered questions than answered, experts say. What's still unknown? Listen, chat. There's probably a lot of unknowns to this, but the one thing I will say, right, and I'm not going to look up the article, but because we're talking about financial entertainment, allow me to put you on. Listen, Trump accounts, if you don't know what it is, officially established under the One Big Beautiful Bill Act of 2025, are tax advantage investments accounts for children under 18 with a social security number. They provide $1,000 U.S. Treasury seed deposits for children born between 2025 and 2028, with parents/employers able to contribute up to $5,000 annually amid at long-term market invested growth. Okay? The purpose to provide every eligible American child with a personal stake in the economy and a jumpstart on savings. Listen, I don't know who's listening to this. I don't know who's had a child born between 2025 and 2028. However, I know of one child, and if you're looking or if you're watching, do more research, right? I've done some research, and at the moment, I have not found any initial cons to this. I know it has Trump's name attached to it, but for a second, just for a second, chat, just calm the fuck down, right? A Trump account that is providing $1,000 in seed deposit for a child born between 2025 and 2028, chat, which gives you the option to provide more. But listen, you tell me right now, right? And again, I'll speak to one person. Pay if you're in the chat. Pay if you're listening, right? Baby Noah, little baby Bonnet, right? At the moment, I'm not giving an advice, right? Yeah, I know this is not advice. I'm just mentioning. At the moment, I have not seen any negative things about this. Is there a downside, chat? And y'all tell me, to getting $1,000 for your child, even if you don't put any other money in this account, chat? That's $1,000 that can grow for this child, right? Access and rules. While designed for long-term growth, the accounts are generally restricted until age 18, which after they function similarly to a traditional IRA. Is there any downside to getting $1,000 deposit for your newborn child? And even if you don't deposit another dollar, letting that money sit there and grow until they turn 18? Come on, chat. Approximately 500,000 children were registered within the first few days of the 2026 tax season. Is there any downside? Is there? Right? Because I see a lot of people that's like, well, it's a Trump account. I would never put my child's name on a Trump account. Listen, you're using a social security number. Shout out to Step Back in the building. You're using a social security number provided by the government. So it's not like they ain't got your child's social security number. If they wanted to do something with you or your child's social security number, they could do it. Trust me. If they want to do something, they'll do it. There is nothing that we could do to stop anything that the government wants to do. I promise you that. Right? But with a Trump account, let's for a second forget about how much individuals do not favor Trump. And let's think logically for a second. If you have a child born between 2025 and 2028, is there a downside? Step Back says no. I have not found one at the moment. Not saying one doesn't exist, but at the moment, I have not found one. So if you're hesitating, listen, I'm just going to say you're missing out on $1,000 per child that could potentially grow until the age of 18. So if you are in a situation and you're one of those people that's like, yo, I'm going to be the one that's going to change the cycle for my family. I'm going to be the one to make sure my family is taken care of. Listen, $1,000 is a lot of money, especially to give to a newborn and allow to grow for 18 years. And it doesn't even say they have to take it out. It says it transfers to it. It's basically starts to function as a traditional IRA, which will provide growth as well. So imagine you don't do nothing, but all you do is get the $1,000. Like, bruh, let's just hypothetically, what could $1,000 grow to over, let's say, 50 years in a traditional IRA? Look at this, chat. A single $1,000 investment into a traditional IRA left untouched for 50 years could grow to a substantial sum, right? Assuming a typical long-term annual return of 7 to 10%, which is the historical S&P average, right, chat? That $1,000 could grow between $30,000 and $100,000. That's for 50 years. Let's say 30 years, which is, I'm going to refer to as the average age that people can actually start to partly afford life, right? Even beyond that, it's still hard to afford life. But let's say over 30 years, right? Approximately 5,700 to 17,500 over 30 years. That's for putting down nothing. Come on now. I mean, listen, I told you, as much as people don't favor Trump, I feel like he might have did his thing with that one. And if y'all not taking advantage of it, tell me in the chat why. I'm not going to tell you have to, but I'm just giving the information. $1,000 that if your kid grows to age 30 or age 50 and you never deposit another dollar, can you imagine telling your child, yeah, I know things was kind of all over the place. Maybe, me and I did whatever I want with my money. You do what you want. But I did, however, get $1,000 deposited for you at birth, and now it's worth $20,000. Here you go. Bruh, that's life-changing for a lot of people. Can you imagine if your parents out of nowhere came right now and was like, here's $20,000. Chat. Just saying, if you have a kid born through 2025 through 2028, I recommend you at least look into it. Trump demands Netflix fire Susan Rice as DOJ probes Warner deal. Bro, I don't know what Susan Rice did to Trump, but you might want to apologize, Susan. Merck to create separate cancer business as Keytruda patent loss looms. Look, I don't... Listen, in those conspiracy theories, they're talking about the cure for cancer has existed for many years. I don't know. Like we're going to stay away from that. U.S. importers still paying Trump's illegal tariffs even after Supreme Court ruling. How is it illegal? How is it? Somebody explain to me how the tariffs are illegal. I can understand they're too much, but how are they illegal? Chad. Shout out to Pay for the raid. Let's go. That raid beat is fire. You know what I'm saying? It's enough time to give you the respect you deserve. Didn't that last beat drop? And then watch how it just ends. That's fire. For a standard, just settle on sound that you can just pull off of like Streamlabs, that's a fire beat. Shout out to Pay, first of all. Before we turn up real quick, on behalf of Pay, two things. One, if you're new here, I'm True Key Main. You could call me True. Everybody calls me True. Today, we are giving financial entertainment. I am not a financial advisor, so take that as you wish. Disclaimer has been said, but don't believe anything I say, right? You have to take the information and do your own research. Two, I'm basically streaming randomly, but if you want to find me, you can typically find me in the mornings, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right? The next thing is right before you guys came in, I was literally just talking to my chat telling, hey, Pay, I specifically said Pay's name, and I must have summoned you. You know what I'm saying? I'm a summoner. You feel me? But I said, hey, listen, you got to look into this because, and specifically what I said is, I know how much people don't favor Trump, but he might have did his big one with this one. Let me repeat myself really quick. The Trump accounts, right? So y'all know on Mondays we go through our financial entertainment, but Trump accounts have more unanswered questions than answered. One question and one thing that I said was, I have not been able to find anything negative in my own research. Do your own research. But for Pay or any of the other raters in here, if you have a child born between 2025 and 2028, this Trump account, let's again for a second, forget about the fact that it's called a Trump account. They are providing $1,000 in deposit money in that account. So even if you like, you know what, F Trump, I'm gonna just do it just so I get the $1,000 and I'm never gonna deposit another dollar in there. Listen, that is probably fine as well. Do your own research. But again, I have not found anything negative to even that, right? Get the $1,000, let it grow for, if you want to let it grow for 30 years without touching it, you can give your child like 20 racks. If you let it grow for 50 years, you can give your child 100 racks, right? At that time, they, fully grown, but it could grow to $100,000. You tell me if you found the downside, right? I haven't been able to find the downside. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, look into that. For anyone who has a child born between 2025 and 2028, a Trump account. Forget about the fact that it has Trump's name attached to it. If you're a person who dislikes Trump, just think in terms of financial well-being, because even if you don't give your child anything else, you could probably give them like 20 racks just off this initial deposit. That's all I'm saying. Again, shout out to Pay for the Raid. You know what I'm saying? Let's get a little bit of music real quick. Just a little. There you go. There you go. We're going to run some raffles while it's going, chat. Put your emotes in the chat. Come on, man. Listen to that beat drop though. Shout out to Pay for winning that raffle. All right. Shout out to that. So let's run through these last couple articles real quick. I'm not going to lie to you, Chad. I'm gonna go through these articles real fast, and then I'm going to show you the whole little vocal stem thing. But I won't go through all the vocal stems. I'll probably save that for another stream just because I do have a meeting, and I got to be in that meeting in 10 minutes. So let's get it. Let's get it real quick. All right. Under mounting toy pressures, Hasbro has a secret sauce that Mattel hasn't matched. What's that? What's the secret sauce? Card trading? It got to be. It got to be something. The S&P 500 is caught in an unusual tight range. Is this bull market resilient or exhausted? Hey, I'm going to look at a chart and see what they're talking about. We got to lock back in with that, right? We got to really lock back in with our trading. We got to see what's going on. Reverse mortgage versus home equity loan or HELOC. Well, for those of you who don't know, I'll break it down in the most simplest terms really quick. But again, do your own research. The difference between the three. First, a reverse mortgage. A reverse mortgage is basically you bought a home and you paid down that home. And as you pay down that home, let's make the assumption that you've completely paid off your house. Now your house has equity. Let's assume that the house is worth, let's call it $300,000, right? A reverse mortgage now allows you to accept payments back from the bank in form of like mortgage payments, but now you're adding a balance back onto the house. So now they're pretty much buying it back from you. So at the end of that reverse mortgage, you essentially no longer own that house. So let's say if your payments were, I don't know, we'll use random numbers. If your payment was $1,000 a month for 30 years, you've paid $1,000 a month, and now your house is paid off, But now, for you do a reverse mortgage, and let's say you do a reverse mortgage for 30 years, and they'll pay you let's call it, let's say your home improved in value over that time, they'll pay you $1,200 a month. And at the end of that, the bank now owns your house, right? So that's like a reverse mortgage. Home equity loan is saying, okay, I paid off my house. It's worth $300,000. You're going to give me up to an 80% loan to value. So they'll say, we'll give you a loan with your house as collateral for, let's call it, $260,000, $240,000, right? So they said, we'll give you a loan for $240,000 based on the equity in your home. So that's a home equity loan. It's a secured loan. You just make the payments on there. Then you have a home equity line of credit. Let's say, again, you paid off your home. The house was worth $300,000. They're going to give you a home equity line of credit. So it's going to be $200,000. That's going to be based off the equity in your home. So every time you use the line of credit, which operates almost like a credit card, right? But you can also write checks. If you use money, it basically goes to the balance that you owe on the line of credit, which is secured against your home. But then you can pay it down. And as you pay it down, you can reuse it. So you can't reuse a home equity loan. It's a one-time thing until you pay it off. A home equity line of credit is a line of credit with specific terms on there. Maybe 15-year term, 30-year term. Whenever you're dealing with mortgages, those are the type of terms you're going to see. You're going to see something like 5 years, 10 years, 15, 30. Sometimes nowadays you might see 50. That's the difference between the three. Gilead to acquire cancer therapy developer Arcelix. Bro, I don't know. I can't pronounce half these names, Chad. For up to $7.8 billion. Like, how do y'all have all this money? How do you have all this money? But that is the rundown. So y'all see what they, have for us for the week. So shout out to that. Shout out to that, chat. Y'all see exactly what they got for us. They basically talking about cartels and they talk about drugs, which are to me one and the same. One and the same, chat. You feel me? They one and the same. All right. Let's see if I can really quick find the vocal stems. I got like 5 minutes. And then I got to actually legit get on this meeting. So let me search it through my activity first. So that way I'm not wasting time. And we surpassed the hour. Yeah, no, we stream for about an hour. Typically we stream for about an hour, Chad. Typically. Let's see. Y'all ever been looking at your activity on Instagram and stuff like that and be like, yo, I like a lot of shit. It's like, if I stop liking so much shit, it'd be so much easier to actually find the stuff that I'm looking for. But, okay, here we go. Okay, all right. This is the person. This is the person. W stream. W's in the chat. W y'all for always supporting and coming through. All right. I don't know if this person is real or AI. I don't care, but vocal stems, chat. I think my next stream might be vocal stems. Like me listening through several of these posts and legit just finding sounds to use because, let me just show you. And let me show you. Here, this woman has a lot of vocal stem posts on her page. So here's a vocal stem, chat.
Well, I'm in jail.
Yuck! I wish I had a free bag of chips.
Do you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man.
Christina! Christina's gone.
Are you calling a cootie queen, you lint licker?
Oh, so you doing the bending?
What? I'm about to tell you.
Stop sign.
No, I said I'm.
What stop sign, man?
And for the lady, perhaps a salad?
Perhaps not.
I don't give a fuck, Keisha.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad.
So chat.
That's my purse. I don't know
These
you.
are vocal stems.
What do you want?
I don't know.
What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
He's a good man, Savannah.
My name Kodak Black, but when you see me, I'm white.
In the morning, I'm making waffles.
Brother,
So
what's that?
the reason
Beefing with my
why
chick while I'm in jail.
the reason why I brung up vocal stems chat is because, again, I'm gonna add some. I gotta get back to my roots, right? I gotta get back to like adding some more sounds to my soundboard. Again, the Stream Deck is drastically underutilized. I need some sounds for like the raid. I love the raid sound that I have right now, but maybe I can get a new one. Maybe for new followers, I can get a sound or something. You feel me? But vocal stems, chat. These are some vocal stems, and this page has a lot of them. So shout out to Bailey Cade is I assume how you pronounce this woman's name, or this person's name. So Bailey Cade, vocal stems. You know what I'm saying? And I was locked in on this for I was literally on this person's page for like a good 30 minutes. Shout out to Sun in the chat. You feel me? I'll give y'all another one. Let's see. How come when I'm on a computer, it don't show how many views it got? I want to go to one with a lot of views, but.
I'm about to tell you.
Stop sign.
No, I said I'm.
What stop sign, man?
Take that dog.
No, he's
Can I
sleeping.
take that dog? Okay.
One, two, three, release him. It's me,
Jessica.
Jessica.
I watched too many movies.
here.
Beefing with my chick while I'm in jail.
I wish I had a free bag of chips.
Yeah. Oh, so you doing the bit?
That almost seemed like a variation of the last one, but.
Is your
I was so fat and nasty.
How you going supposed to see the New York style strawberry cheesecake?
Terrell, run the road again. Damn it, it's cut.
Takis in a donut.
cookies in my ass.
Don't worry. I'm not gonna do what everyone thinks I'm gonna do. Flip out!
45 pounds.
She lied, and I should have known better when I seen her hair.
Oh! He's still in!
Take a fucking nap. Is your
I was so fat and nasty.
How you supposed to see the New York style?
All right, chat. That's vocal stems. You get the point. You know, I'll spend more time on it later, but I do gotta lock in. I gotta get to work. Appreciate the raid for sure. Shout out to all y'all again. I told y'all I had to take a nice little, you know what I'm saying, take a little week off after my tournament, get my mind right. But, you know, we're going to do as we can do when we can do it. You feel me? We all have free will. You feel me? But we do got to raid out. I appreciate the raid, but we do got to raid out. You know what I'm saying? Your boy got locked in for work. Let's see who is actually live. Shout out to all y'all. Shout out to all y'all, man. Shout out to all y'all. Look who we got live right here. Look who we got live. Let's lock back in. You know what I'm saying? We got Ice. We gotta go raid Ice. Come on, man. Let's lock back in. Let's lock back in, chat. Come on. First of all, let me get y'all raid music. You know, I'm finding someone, and then we found someone. We got Ice is live. We gotta go support Ice. We gotta go support Ice. Y'all already know the vibes. I'm gonna hit that raid button. And when that beat drop, we going over there. Oh, Ice over there playing chess. Okay. I might have to get on chess. Listen, should we all just start? Let's just all start running chess. Let's just all start running chess. You feel me? Appreciate y'all again. I'll be back.